Good morning, it's the 8th of February 1987 and here we are, just before 11 o'clock on Inglemire Lane, awaiting the start of the Sports Club Humberside Police 10-mile road race in aid of charity. There's some 500 male entries today and about 200 ladies running as well, although I would think the turnout might be a bit smaller than that considering the weather. It's a rather overcast morning, it has been raining all night. The rain seems to have given off a little bit at the moment, but no doubt we might see it before the end of the race looking at the skies. We should look for quite a good race today. I don't know if there's any of the big runners here, we haven't seen many. We've seen Mike Lake, we've seen Shane Page, and we haven't seen many others. We know Jim Dingwall's away in the Canary Islands at the moment, sunning it up. Probably just as well, I think, looking at this weather. But we'll await quite a good race from quite a big contingent this morning.
Having a flashing light, that would really feel early. You could have done one on this one. It's actually said.
Not moving much on, slowly.
They're in the starter's orders at the moment, raring to go. I'm just waiting for the last few people to join the back of the pack at the moment, I would think. And there it is, that's the hooter, they're away. The start of the 1987 Humberside Police 10-mile road race. We're on the streets of North Hull and Cottingham. Organised by Humberside Police, so hopefully we should have quite stringent organising methods today. We should have traffic-free roads, plenty of marshals on all the corners. We've got a timing vehicle just out of shot there, and police motorbike. We've got one in front of us and one behind us, so it looks like they've organised quite well. Unfortunately we can't see the runners at the moment, but we'll get a picture of those soon enough.
You're on, Kev.
Here we are on Cranbrook Avenue. They've taken the first left of the race. We've just let the timer car go past, let us see the runners for the first time. Mike Lake to the fore there, a lot of yellow vests of Bridlington Road runners. Quite a big early group there. Of course it's too early to tell just yet because we're only about 2.5 minutes into the race. We're going along Cranbrook Avenue here, one of the many streets which house students in the city. We've still got the motorbike outrider there, so the runners got something to aim at. They've got somewhere to follow all the way around, which makes a change from a lot of races where they're guessing and going the wrong way all the way around. Here we are on Endyke Lane. They've taken another sharp left turn onto Endyke Lane as they come up towards Cottingham now, and the lead cyclist in the front there, 5.5 minutes has gone past, and still we can see just in the picture now that lead group sticking together, quite a big lead group for this sort of race. Mike Lake just on the outside there, sitting in quite well. George Baker sitting in as well. Quite a big group, 3 City of Hull runners in that lead group there. And here we have the rest of the field following through. The lead group's broken away from this, from the chasers of the race. Shane Page just going through. George Slater and Phil Dewberry as well. City of Hull, as per usual, in quite good numbers this morning, even though, as we said, it's quite a dull morning.
At this particular point in time, there's Rob Robbie.
As Colin says, at this particular point in time, Rob Robinson goes through. He's wearing his tights this morning, he's taking no chances. There's quite a contingent here this morning from, we believe, Bridlington Road runners with the yellow vests on. Some quite bright colours this morning as well. Brightens up a miserable day, I presume. Inglemire Harriers are here this morning. For the first time we've seen this particular club running in the City of Hull boundaries. They're the ones wearing the bright yellow tops with the black finish. There's some aerobatics there on the course. And it is actually quite a big field, more than we anticipated would turn up this morning. The weather obviously hasn't changed their ideas about running this 10 miles on a Sunday morning. Obviously they're out here to enjoy themselves. And here you have your good club runners and the lads out for a good bit of fun on a Sunday morning. Not that often they'll be in the pub for the lunch though. We haven't seen Alan Fowler yet. Is he running today? This is the question. Or has he been frightened off 10-mile road races? Quite a few ladies running this morning as well, I notice. Somebody got a picture here with a Great North Run t-shirt on from this year. So this man's been a distance before. They're all wearing the long sleeve tops. A lot of people wearing t-shirts, tights, tracksuit bottoms just to keep warm. It is quite a cold day today. Picking two runners up here. Could it be father and son together there? Running along number 313 and number 362. And we're panning past the field now. We're about halfway down the field, going along towards the end of Endyke Lane, coming onto Cottingham or Hull Road, whichever end of it we happen to turn up at. Quite a few more, as I've said, quite a few more runners than we expected this morning. And the field is really spread out along this long stretch along Endyke Lane. Endyke Lane, of course, is a neighbourhood watch area. I wonder what they're thinking about this now. This field is really well spread now. It must be at least a mile long, I would have thought, from tip to toe. I'll catch him at the other end of this. Here we are on Middledyke Lane now. We're in the back of beyond of Cottingham, as it were. Very few houses around this part of Cottingham, and as you can see, very, very flat course today. So hopefully, quite some good times for us today.
257.
Here we have number 257 from City of Hull, and we believe he's wearing a brand new pair of shoes. It's Gordon Gibson here. He's wearing a brand new pair of shoes just bought yesterday, and against all advice he's running them this morning. Goodness me, it's Alan Fowler. We don't believe it. He's come from nowhere. Was he hiding in the bushes? He's off camera shot. He's run away around the van. I don't believe it. Wait a minute, we'll find him again. Where's he gone? Yes, there he is. He's still there. We think he might have come in from the bushes at some point because we haven't seen him up till now. But Alan's digging in. He's sticking in at this race. Time. Guess who we have now? Yes, it's Rob Robinson, tights and all. Rob's running quite a good race. Just off the pace at the moment though. Pete Jarvis just ahead of him here, I can see. Of course you can't see him because I'm looking at the front of the van. Not to worry. There he is. True to life. Pete Jarvis. Yeah, the dog's barking in the background there. That's per usual along this stretch of road. It's the runner's worst enemy, a dog. There we have Phil Dewberry wearing his hat. Eccentric character, if anything. And there's Shane Page. Malcolm Burton as well. Sticking together, we'll come towards the front of the field now. Shane's running quite consistently as usual. And as we can see, we've got almost a repeat of the Ferriby 10 a couple of weeks ago, except we've got a few runners missing, but we've got George Baker running really well, running to form again today. And just behind him we have Malcolm Martin of Sheffield, who I believe took about 5th or 6th place in the Ferriby 10. These two runners running quite well together. George has got in the front, he's trying to break Malcolm. He beat Malcolm very well in the Ferriby 10. Can he do the same today? George is running extremely well at the moment. He's on top form, despite a recent injury which he's had, which we believe hampered him in the Ferriby 10, when he was beaten by the youngster Duncan McFarlane. Of course, we're in this barren wasteland of a place that they call Cottingham at the moment. Both runners, you can see on their faces the strain's telling, especially George. Good close up there of George and Malcolm together. And here we have the first two still together, shoulder to shoulder, George Baker and Malcolm Martin of Sheffield. A couple of Sheffield runners here today, and a couple of runners that we haven't seen in the past in the Hull area. We're seeing the guy in third here. We can't quite make out his number at the moment.
322.
322. We'll give you a name check on that gentleman any minute now. We're seeing the next group coming up. We've got Mike Lake. That was Keith Godfrey from Pocklington runners who went ahead there. So Pocklington coming to the fore now. Quite a young club. They haven't been together very long. And they've got some quite good runners already.
I know.
The field at the front here is quite spread out compared to the back markers which we saw along Endike Lane. They were shoulder to shoulder for about a mile along Endike Lane. But here we have another City of Hull runner. City of Hull looking good for a team prize here. We'll just check how many people are out to qualify for the team prize. It's 3 to count for the team prize. So City of Hull are looking good, but there's no Pocklington runner gone through. Pocklington could be closing for second place in the team prize, I think. Here we have a Hornsey runner and Bridlington Road runner together, two our friends from the coast here. And they've come inland. I don't think Wales much better inland than it is on the coast. And here we have quite a large group of runners together here. After the sparseness of the leading few, we have around about 5 or 6 runners running shoulder to shoulder almost here, helping each other along. Running together is always the best way. And Pocklington are out in numbers today. They've really been training well for this. It's the first time we've seen anything like this in Hull. Obviously they've been training quite well on those hills up near Pocklington, up in the Yorkshire Wolds. City of Hull push for first team prize here. We certainly won't get the second as well. Here we have Phil Leach going through. Just missed Phil Leach there going through. And again, this next group holds a lot of familiar faces. There's Shane Page in there. There's the man with the hat. I can't remember his name though.
Alan Tomlinson in white there, 46.
Alan Tomlinson. Pete Jarvis coming up in the rear there. Just been his screen now. There's Pete Jarvis. Running consistently well. After his Ferriby 10 run, he's running quite well today again. And I think at this point we better get back with the leaders in case we get hemmed in again. And we're going past the field here, leaving them behind. Some probably wish they could jump in the back of the van at the moment. This is where it starts to hurt. It's where you can't see the finish line. You know you've ran quite a way and you've got quite a distance to go as well. You haven't got the clock on, Cole? Yeah. You haven't got the clock on the view. And we have the two leaders in view again. The strain is showing on George's face. Malcolm's gone to the front. Perhaps they're sharing the pace here. Running together, it always helps a hell of a lot if you've got somebody to run with you and share the pace. If you're out there by yourself, it's very, very lonely, it's very hard. So I think these two guys are sharing the pace here. Who knows what's going to happen in the finishing straight though. It'll be the man with the hardest legs left who's going to win it. We're 28.5 minutes now, 29 minutes into the race now. So we've got about another 20, 21, 22 minutes left before these two guys finish the race. Looking for quite a good time today on this flat and fairly fast course. It is quite cold outside, but once you get going, you soon warm up.
You're on.
Here we have the time van coming around the bend here into Eppleworth Road. And we've got the two lead runners still together. Is George making a break? This is the question. They're still together, but there seems to be a gap as they came around that bend there. Nope, they're still very much together. George and Malcolm Martin, the Sheffield runner. We're waiting for the third place runner. He's quite a way behind. Yes, I think they've opened that gap even further. They're pushing each other on in the front. The third runner's nowhere to be seen yet. I think maybe obscuring it now by this horse going past. Not to worry. And here he is. It's a Pocklington Roadrunner. Keith Godfrey from Pocklington Roadrunners. I think, yes, is it? Yes, that's the one. And here we have Mike Lake here, and number 266 from Bridlington Roadrunners. That was Stuart Spooner, of course, from Bridlington Roadrunners. The name we couldn't remember, but we remembered now. And again, a big gap between the next runners. We've got the first 6 through there. Or was it 5? I can't remember. And here we have another City of Hull lad, one of the younger age groups from City of Hull. As I said before, City of Hull look quite good for the team prize here.
That's a bad corner, is that coming?
Quite a big group here, and we've just noticed this car going around the corner here. Could be quite dangerous for the runners. They come flying on this corner. It's a blind corner for the runners, and there's a car there when they come round it. The speed the runners take that corner, they're going to hit it, because you find that most runners will run into a corner a lot faster than running the straights for some reason. And we see Ian Greer taking a wide berth there of that car, being forced over the other side of the road. We have to say up to now the police have done a very good job in marshalling this area. In fact, there's been some of the army around there as well. So we've had a joint forces operation here to keep the roads clear, to marshal the event. And in fact, they're all taking part in the event as well. We've got people from the fire brigade, from the police service and from the army, all running at today's event. It's been quite a good turnout, all in all. And here we have some more runners coming through City of Hull. Again, Pocklington Roadrunners figuring quite highly up the field today. We're wondering what they've been eating recently. We're wondering if Alan Fowler was a figment of our imagination before, or was he really real? We haven't seen him since then. I've been having nightmares about Alan Fowler ever since the Ferriby 10. We'll have about the next 5 or 6 runners coming through, then we'll press on at the head of the field again, see what's happening between George and Malcolm, with the Pocket Roadrunner going through there. Really, if anything has to be said about this race today, I think Pocklington Roadrunners must be stressed that they've come a long way since any other race this year. The Ferriby 10, they weren't well represented there, but they've been really well represented today. We're going to pull away now while we can and get ahead of the runners and get back with the lead group again before the finish. There we have Phil Leach in shot there, looking with that pain expression on his face as usual, but still he'd be running quite well. He'd be happy with this sort of time. And here we are, we're going into the residential part of Cottingham now, away from what I call the wasteland of Cottingham. And we're going past the runners, letting them have their last shout of glory on the infamous camera here. And then we're going to go off to the leaders, see the leaders of the race. These guys are lying in, I think, just about the top 10 of the race at the moment. The leaders are nowhere to be seen in the distance. So they have quite a big gap on the rest of the field. There's about a 200-metre gap to the next runner from the City of Hull runner, so he's got I don't think he's got any chance of closing the gap. All he's got to do is consolidate his position at the moment and hope he can pick up a team prize with Mike Lake and George Baker. Mike Lake and pitcher now drop off the pace, lying in 5th place now. He's struggling a little bit, but can we see a big kick which brought him back, as in the Ferriby 10, kind of bring him back to Steve Spooner, who, as we can see, is just ahead of him at the moment. Some 20-30 metres between them, but it's a big gap when you're this close to the finish. So that's 4th and 5th runners there. In 3rd place we have the Pocklington Road runner, Keith Godfrey there. Just picturing our screens now. A new name to the area as far as I can recall. I haven't actually seen this guy run before, but he's consolidated his position quite well there in 3rd place. I don't think Steve's going to catch him, but on the other hand I don't think he's going to catch George or Malcolm either. And here we have the 2 leading runners again, shoulder to shoulder as they have been for about the past 4 or 5 miles, out in the front, 200-300 metres ahead of Keith Godfrey, the Pocklington Road runner. We've got George Baker on the left of your screen as you look at him, from City of Hull, and we have Malcolm Martin on his left from Sheffield. Malcolm again has travelled that hour distance from Sheffield to Hull for another race, and he's done himself proud again. Of course, you must remember Malcolm Martin, I believe, is a veteran, so he's going to pick up the Veterans Prize if nothing else. That's if George can outsprint him. George had quite a big kick at the end of the race. We're 41.5 minutes into the race now, so we've got around about 10 minutes to go. We've got to go along to the centre of Cottingham, this residential town just on the outskirts of Hull. And here we have it with about 1.5 miles, 2 miles to go. Malcolm Martin's made his bid for gold. He's kicked, he's gone past George. George has sat in behind him. The question is George waiting to give a counter-attack, or is George tired? Malcolm seems to have picked this moment quite well. Surprising for someone from Sheffield to know exactly where he's going and exactly what point of the race he's at. Perhaps just that mental clock which all runners have got, which tell them they're near the end of a race or they're near the end of a run. Tells them how long they've been running for. Certainly he's put that kick in. George has responded. George has sat in behind him. But there's a gap there. We can't exactly make it out at the moment. It might be 5-10 metres. The camera foreshortens the distance, so perhaps Malcolm is getting away. We've got about 2 miles to go to the finish line, and Malcolm certainly put a kick in. He's coming right away from George. There's a gap there, at least 10 metres now. George is looking as if he's struggling. George is hanging on for grim death there. Malcolm's made a good bid for gold here. He's getting his revenge for the Ferriby 10, when, of course, George pulled away with Jim and Duncan McFarlane and left Malcolm behind with a group of 3 to chase. But at the moment, Malcolm looks good for gold. George looks pretty tired. And we'll go towards the finish now. We'll get our camera set up there, and we'll see what the outcome of this fantastic duel between these 2 very good runners is. And the gap there, some 20 metres now. Malcolm Martin's pulling right away. And here we have Malcolm Martin. He's won. He's kicked well away from George. 2 miles to go. He put his kick in, and you can see him coming at the finish now. Tremendous run by Malcolm. He really enjoyed himself. What a tremendous run there. And he's kicked well clear of George, but George has had a good run. George will be happy with that. He's coming in 2nd place now. Tremendous applause from the crowd for George. Really good run by George Baker. City of Hull there. Stops his watch on the line. He'll be happy with that. The 3rd place runner last time we saw was the pocket runner Keith Godfrey. Now we had Steve Spooner just behind him. The question is, has Steve Spooner managed to close that gap or not? We'll soon see, but there was quite a gap between the 2 leaders and the 3rd place runner. As you can see, there's quite a bit of time elapsed between the first two runners and the third place runner at the moment. It's been suggested that we may have missed a few runners along the way. They might have popped into one of the pubs in Cottingham. In fact, here we have the third place runner, Keith Godfrey, Pocklington Harriers, Pocklington Roadrunners. Great run by this gentleman here. The first time we've seen him in this sort of position, third place in this 10-mile road race. Tremendous run. Steve Spoon, as you can see, has just closed that gap slightly, but to no avail. Keith still managed to get in before him. Good run there by Steve Spooner there. And here's Mike Lake in 5th place. I think very similar to his position in the Ferriby 10. Mike's ran hard, couldn't quite catch Steve Spooner towards the end there. A good run there by Mike. He's missed his time, but never mind, he'll get it at the end. So we've got 5 runners through, waiting for the 6th place runner now. Quite a way again, the gaps are quite big at this end of the field. As I mentioned, in fact here we are, City of Hull runner in 6th place. It looks like City of Hull have won the team prize with three to count. And that was from City of Hull, number 426. Brian Ward there, going through. Here we have the Hornsey runner, number 133. Again, a Pocklington Road runner, PWO, which I think is actually an army runner. So our belief that Pocklington were out in force there could be quashed by the fact they're actually army runners. Not to worry. And here we have a spirited finish by this runner, number 139. Which was Stephen Abbey of Scunthorpe Harriers, one of Duncan McFarlane's teammates. Ian Greer coming in. Ian not up to form at the moment. Ian Greer striding over the line there. We just heard on the grapevine, I think it was on BBC Sports, that Phil Groves managed to overcome all opposition in the fun run this morning. We believe the average age was about 4 in the fun run, but Phil ran quite well. Andy Norman was here to sign up for the train with Steve Ovett and company. Phil apparently has turned him down though. Number 132 just going through there.
Trevor Shields coming in now.
We know you had some commentary there from Phil Groves. He said Trevor Shields is coming in. That was a first, and you heard it first on a Runner Care video. Full Springer Harriers coming through there.
Come on, John! John Matthews.
Here we have John Matthews from City of Hull, running quite well there.
Well done, John.
And again another Pocklington stroke army runner here. Smile on the face of the finishers. They're obviously happy to be finished this race. Quite a way on a cold, wet Sunday morning. Number 326 making sure we know who he is there at the finish. We'll give him a name check. David Ray from the army. A lot of wet, tired faces at the moment, but it's their choice. Number 51 there from City of Hull, one of quite a few runners from City of Hull this morning, and John Hood. It's quite a dispersed descent in the field, as has been said numerous times. Quite a finish here between three runners. Who's going to get it? Yes, a sprint on between three runners here. Tremendous finish. One of the better sprints we've seen finish all day. No doubt we'll see more towards the end of the field though, when they're a lot closer together. Another Sheffield athlete finishing there. And another Hull Springhead runner. Malcolm Burton here finishing in the East Hull vest. So we think Shane shouldn't be too far behind, along with our friend with the hat, so I can't remember his name again, Phil Dewberry. But back here we come, as I speak, Shane Page has left Phil behind. Alan Tomlinson going through. Shane Page, he's had quite a good run this morning. He's left behind a lot of that group he was running with earlier on. Good run there by Shane. Number 406 there, loving it, getting all the applause of the quite big crowds here, considering the occasions. Phil Leach going through there. And here we go again. At this particular point in time, we have Rob the Tights Robinson coming through here. And he's hitting his number down his tights. Good run by Rob there. There we have Pete Jarvis in the distance coming through, jogging in at the finish line. He's beaten Alan Fowley quite soundly here. Here he comes, the man of the moment. Good run there by Pete Jarvis. And here's Alan Fowley, Alan the headband Fowley, coming through, taking his time, and having a very good run there. Congratulations, Alan. Coming through thick and fast now at the moment. These will appreciate a nice cup of hot tea or coffee after the race. In fact, is it opening time yet? It must be opening time, surely. They'll be heading for the pubs, no doubt. Sunday lunch in the pubs. Why not? They deserve it. That army runner there. So what we were saying earlier on about pocket and being out in force is actually untrue, because they're actually army runners. Good finish there from City of Hull. Tremendous. But here we go with some good sprint finishes here. These boys have worked hard all the way around, and they still managed to sum the sprint right at the finish. Tremendous finish by this guy, all by himself. Number 367. We'll give him a name check. That's Kevin Rosebotham from RAF Saxton Wolds. So we've got an RAF runner there as well. So we've got Army, we've got Fire, we've got Police, and we've got the RAF even. Yeah. Another finish here. This guy's trying to get through, but he's not going to make it, unfortunately. And here we have somebody else wearing tights. The different shades and colours are tremendous these days. The number of different designs you can buy. Of course, they do the job because they act like thermal tights and keep your legs warm all the way around. I'm quite surprised that not more runners are wearing tights and tracks to bottoms on mornings like this. Now we should be looking for the first lady coming through fairly soon. We saw Anne Sweeney earlier on in the race. The question is, can she win the ladies' race? Sheffield coming through again. More and more Sheffield runners every race. They have a Jim Dingwall look-alike here from Billington Road Runners. A lot of weary faces coming through. But once
Next funnel. 10, 20 runners.
we're going to wait for the First Lady to come through, and then what Pete calls the crew video cut-off point will come into operation very soon after that. Good finish by number 296 there. We have a tremendous finish, 3 guys together. Good run by 144, the Reebok top one.
Keep your running order.
Yes, here we have the First Lady coming through in the yellow top. Number 926, who is Christine Buckley from Knavesmere. Good run there by Christine. And here's Anne Sweeney not far behind, in fact, so it was quite a close ladies' race. Anne must have been sprinted out towards the end of the race there. The Champagne League t-shirt coming through there. So we think after this next bunch of runners we may have to finally cut off. Just a word of thanks to Humberside Police for the tremendous marshalling of the course. One of the better marshal courses I've seen in my time, of all the races I've been to. I'd like to have a word of thanks for our driver today. Again, a policeman himself, Malcolm Tyndall, who drove so well for us. And a quick word of thanks to our expert resident cameraman, Colin Martin. So, to quote a famous commentator, Rob Robinson, at this particular point in time, I think we'll close off. And we'll see you all again at our next meeting. Thank you.
Hold on here.